Hello, and thank you for coming to our fast pitch presentation. My name is Angelique Michelle, and my classmates that are also on this project with me are Autumn Cody and Garrett Hopper. Our project is focusing on food insecurity for college students, so let's go ahead and dive right in. On the agenda today, we're going to go through an introduction, ways to help, positives, challenges, SMART goals, a timeline, as well as references. Food insecurity. What do you think of when I say that? It could be a lot of things. It could be a faraway country that we've never seen with our own eyes. It could be a rural area that is suffering from small town grocery stores closing down. Or it could be your neighbor down the street who just lost their job and has come to you to ask to borrow $20 for dinner or is frequenting a food pantry. Food insecurity is all around us, but technically we seem to always associate it with full grown adults or little children. But the ones that are caught in the middle are the college students. People assume that college students are going to be a-okay eating ramen and hot dogs and pizza because those are the jokes that are made. Being broke in college is something that's laughed about. However, it's a very serious problem. As we can see, in 2020, nearly 3.8 million undergraduate students reported experiencing food insecurity. Additionally, food insecurity is higher among students who are single parents, who are independent of their parents, or even have a disability. We're also seeing a dramatic increase in percentage for food insecure students. For instance, in 1996, 28% of students reported food insecurity, and in 2020, we saw that number jump to 34%. So this is definitely an ongoing and increasing problem for our college students, and perhaps maybe shouldn't be joked about among our circles, as this is again something that is very important to take seriously. So after hearing that, I'm sure that I hear you saying, how can I help? How does this affect my child? Or maybe, how does this affect my community? Well, we can also have a college-wide food pantry, something that all on-campus students can use to grab a snack or maybe even grab a meal. Additionally, we can encourage students, staff, and community members to take place, which strengthens the bond not only of the students to the college, but of the community to the students and the college, creating a kind of give and take relationship where we're using the old adage, it takes a village, because it truly does. And finally, we can also provide free meals to students. And now this would fall into the school's policy and budgeting, of course, but by providing free meals to students, we ensure that no student is going hungry or is being distracted because they're hungry and they can't focus enough to study. So let's say that we have implemented all of these changes. We have the food pantry up and running. We have the free meals program going. What are some positives that we could hope to see from it? One, of course, would be, as mentioned on the previous slide, building the community and strengthening it. And with having those bonds strengthened, it also will help students continue to come to the school because they're seeing it as something that they're getting without increased cost. Also, students will be able to focus on their schoolwork. They won't be focused on how hungry they are or where their next meal will be coming from. And in order to encourage students to not only utilize but to take part in the food pantry by donating food or helping fellow students pick out items that they may want or need, the professor can always assign them some hours for extra credit. Finally, free meals for students can be a game changer, and by investing in this change, we're looking out for the best case scenario for our students. They won't be going hungry. They also won't be eating unhealthy food like ramen and hot dogs every day because that's all they can afford. But then I hear you say those are great positives, but there has to be some challenges with this. We can't just throw this all together with, some fairy dust and cross our fingers and hope for the best. And you're right, some challenges are going to be budget requirements. Colleges work in very tight budgets. And so this will require probably the support of the dean, the president, staff, administration, and many other people to make something like this happen. But it is completely doable. Getting the word out is another thing. Depending on the size of the college, this could be rather easy or this could be rather difficult. If the college is huge, we're going to have to use not only flyers around campus, but have professors get the word out, send out emails, texts, utilizing social media as well to encourage students to stop by and check it out. Also, probably this would be a larger issue at a large university, which would be keeping the pantry at a good level of supply regularly. This is where the college's marketing team or operations department can join in, and they can reach out to businesses and partner with them to ensure that there is a steady flow of food coming into the college pantry when students and staff can't supplement the way that they want to.
Despite the challenges and the daunting tasks that can come with food insecurity, we can combat these with methods like the SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. We can utilize this goal assessment method to plan out how we're going to accomplish food security within our student populations. Our SMART goals are based in 3 different parts. The first being that universities and colleges will implement a school-wide food pantry in about a timeline of 4 months. The second being this free meal plan will be rolled out with 3 meals a week in a timeline of 5 months for students. The third being university and colleges will implement orientation for students on food insecurity at the beginning of college and provide electronic newsletters for once a month thereafter. Going off of our first goal, we have the food pantry timeline. This timeline is a 4-section timeline that we use to organize and hopefully establish a school-wide pantry. This is done through the breakup of membership and partnership, operating styles, getting food, and reaching students. Many different parts can fall under these sections, like fundraising, certification, operating styles, which could have risk management, finding space and equipment. Then you have the actual getting food, which could be the actual food acquisition or the safety and services. And then we have reaching out to the students to make sure that they're understanding and knowing about the program that is provided to them by the food pantry. For our second goal of a free meal plan timeline, we have a 5-section plan to implement the free 3 times a week meal plan for students in 5 months. This university may already have established food services that they can lean into, such as campus dining, to work with and coordinate food security services for the free meal plans. Additionally, they can look for fundraising or grants that might be needed to supplement the free meal plan costs. And pulling from resources of a food pantry that is already organized might be very helpful for creating a free meal plan for students on campus. We've broken it down again into 5 stages that is very similar to the food pantry timeline, with the caveat of including creating capacity, finding out how to allot for the free meal plans, and how to include these exterior organizations to help provide the free meal plan to students. Lastly, our third goal goes into resources and education. This goal was to have universities and college implement orientation once at the very beginning entrance of college, and then to provide once a month electronic newsletters thereafter. This is a pretty simple 1-to-2 ratio that starts with the beginning of college with the presentation workshop and then goes into those weekly newsletters, which could be emails, board posts, or handouts, or whatever other media seems to reach the students to let them know about food insecurity and about the resources that are there on campus for them.
The next few pages are going to talk about the references that we've used for this project. The first reference we have gives you a step-by-step process on how to set SMART goals. And the second reference tells you how to start and maintain a food pantry, how to find volunteers, how to run a pantry, what equipment is needed, things like that. This page has links to web pages on SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, as well as an article by the Food and Agricultural Organization. This slide has a website that discusses a pilot program for free meals for elementary students, and a website discussing how the University of Portland started a food pantry and how the community can donate to that. This page has a reference on the slide that talks about how West Valley Mission Community College in California has taken steps to help college students eliminate financial barriers. The second reference talks about how CLASP, which is the Center for Law and Social Policy, has started food banks in Louisiana to help with the growing number of students with food insecurities. The last slide has a link on an article by the Global Food Banking Network that talks about how the Global Food Banking Network has given increased food access to people around the world. These are the references that we've used for this project. Thank you very much.